his teacher kicked him off a Zoom call. What did he say that was so offensive? Well, he decided to share about his faith. Hi, I'm Stuart Shepard, and this is First Liberty Live. Thank you for liking and sharing our videos. We appreciate you and your connection with this weekly webcast. Joining us on this special edition of First Liberty Live by Zoom, we've got our client, Zion Ramos. Hi, Zion.
Hello, sir. Thank you for letting me be here.
I'm glad you're here. And also our attorney, Kayla Toney. Hi, Kayla.
Hello. It's great to be with you all today.
Yeah, it's glad both of you are here. Zion, first we're going to start with you. Help us get a picture of what the Zoom call you were on was all about. It's an online school, I understand.
Yes, every week we are given a daily session called High School Social Time, where we are free to share anything we want in a respectful manner. And, well, that's where I decided I wanted to share my faith.
Yeah, so I want to help people understand. So is there any classroom part of this at all, or it's all online?
No, sir. This is all online. We do have classes over Zoom. However, this was not one of the learning lessons.
Right. So this was a time for the students just to be able to talk to each other, because you don't have hallways you can talk in. You don't have breaks during the day that you can chat with each other. So it gives you a chance to get to know each other, right?
Yes, it's the online equivalent of recess time.
All right. Since it's online and it's social time, there was one day you decided you wanted to share a little bit about your faith. What led you to want to do that?
Well, there were multiple events that led up to it, starting with, I believe, the death of Charlie Kirk, and then other videos my dad had showed me online. And the night before I had gone into my social time to go share the faith, I was convicted to do so. So I woke up and I made it in my mind, this is the first thing I can do for God, and that's what I wanted to do.
Now, to give us context, what are some of the kinds of things that the other students would talk about during social time? What else do kids talk about?
Literally anything. As I said, it's the online equivalent of recess. I've went in there and heard banter from look at my snake or any weapons I own, what's your favorite music, who can reach the top shelf at Walmart, LGBTQ conversation, literally anything.
Yeah. So tell me what you shared on that day. What did you start out saying?
I shared with the students that we don't know how long we have. One day it's either going to be heaven or hell, and that is a choice we're going to have to make now.
And then you realized...
Before I could finish, I was shut down. I was muted. I was kicked out, and then to cover it up, the meeting was canceled a few minutes later.
Now, when you were first muted, did you assume it was a mistake? I mean, that something had gone wrong technically?
I'm not going to lie. I almost expected it, and I actually prepared a little rebuttal for if it happened. But it was not respected, and that's why I was kicked.
So you were muted, and then you were kicked off the call, and then you said they shut the whole thing down, right? They just said no more Zoom call today.
Exactly, because if they had just kicked me out, it would have been, oh, that's a targeted attack.
Yeah. Kayla, this is where we need some legal insight on this. Is it okay, legally speaking, for Zion to share his faith, something about his faith that's important to him, with his classmates over a Zoom call? Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. It's more than okay. His speech is fully protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. In our Coach Kennedy case just a couple of years ago, the Supreme Court said it best when they said that the First Amendment provides double protection for religious speech like Zion's. So he's got the free speech clause and the free exercise clause protecting his speech with other students. And if that weren't enough, the U.S. Department of Education's guidelines, which have stayed very consistent over the last couple of decades, they specifically say that students can share about their faith with other classmates as long as students are allowed to talk about other topics. So it might be different if Zion were in the middle of learning an algebra lesson and he suddenly interrupted the teacher and started to share. But during a social time when students are free to talk about sports or friends or any other topic, students like Zion can absolutely share their faith with their fellow classmates.
What would have been an appropriate response from the teacher once she saw, I assume it's a she, once he or she saw what was happening?
She should have listened. She should have allowed Zion to speak. And then, certainly, if students had comments or questions for him, or if the conversation became unruly or somehow inappropriate at that point, she might have stepped in to provide some guidance. Because that's really the teacher's role here, is to facilitate conversation between students and to help them learn how to engage with each other respectfully on different topics. So I think if she had been fulfilling her role correctly, she would absolutely have let Zion share and then, maybe provided a little guidance if the conversation went off the rails. But that didn't happen at all. She shut him down as soon as he mentioned the concept of eternity. And that violated the Constitution.
Under her view of things. In real life, it does not, of course. First Liberty stepped in here, and we gave the school some insights as to what's acceptable and what's not. Walk us through that process of how we contacted the school and what happened next.
Yes, well, Zion reached out to us at First Liberty right away through our website. There's a page where anyone can request legal help. And as soon as my colleague and I saw his request come in, we knew this was a case that we could take, and this was a case we wanted to take right away. So we did. And within a week, we had written a demand letter. We sent it to the school. We also notified some contacts in various places, including the media. And we think that that was a really effective way to send this message to the school and really to educate them about the constitutional rights that Zion has and the constitutional rights that other students have.
And I understand they're offering him an opportunity to speak now.
Yes, just 2 days after we sent our letter, the school's attorney responded and agreed to all three of our requests. So first, Zion will be able to share his faith for 3 minutes during a future social time. Second, school officials are promising that they will not violate the free exercise or free speech rights of students, including Zion, in the future. And third, school officials have agreed to do religious liberty training through our friends at Gateways for Better Education. They have a great free program called the Respect Project, which basically walks through the Department of Ed's guidelines and explains the rights that students and employees have. So we're very encouraged by that response because we think having the training, in addition to Zion's opportunity to speak, will really help to make sure that this situation doesn't happen again.
Now, our hope as an organization is that this doesn't happen at all, that people understand the rights of students and their right to share about their faith in an appropriate setting at an appropriate time. But the second best thing to happen is what happened in this case, and that is someone clarifies, not just for that one classroom, but for the entire school, as far as what is acceptable under the law, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's part of why it's so important that Zion stood up for his rights here, because if he had just quietly allowed himself to be shut down and put it past him, if he just wanted to move on, which honestly would have been the easier thing to do, then this could keep happening, not just in Zion school, but in schools all over the country. Students of faith are being shut down, whether it's they want to start a Bible club and it's not allowed, or they wear a t-shirt with a religious message, or they put up a poster with a Bible verse inviting people to an event. We're hearing from students all over the country that are running into this sort of problem. And so I just really think Zion is so courageous to stand up for his rights, and not just his, but the rights of other students across our country, because we truly do have such strong protections in our laws, in our Constitution. But if we don't know those rights and we don't stand up for them, they are taken away.
Very much. Zion, I want to come back to you now. When that time arrives, they're going to give you an opportunity to share with your classmates. What do you plan on sharing?
I plan to share the hope and joy that is the gospel, but I tend to make it very convicting. We do not know how much time we have, and one day it will be over. It's literally a race against time, and I want to plant a seed in their hearts. Maybe it won't be that day they turn to Christ, but I want my message to convict every student in there so that sometime, some point in their life, they will remember that message, they will think about it, and they will hopefully come to Christ.
Another question for you. What's ahead for you? What do you see yourself doing? And once you enter a career, what would you like to do?
Well, that's a bit of a topic change right there. I actually intend to be an electrical computer engineer. Maybe work with some of Elon Musk's people, Boston Dynamics, people like those. That's a bit of a topic change.
Well, I figure people will want to know, what does this young man want to do when he grows up? Tell me what it was like working with First Liberty. People often wonder what it's like being a client of ours. What was your experience with us?
It was like a friend, if you will. It's like you have two people helping you, and one person's all business, but the other person is business, but they're doing it in such a way where it doesn't feel like you're talking to an attorney. You feel like you're talking to a friend, and they are actually helping you. I was also very happy that everything they did was very quick, and they kept us posted every step of the way. I found it a very good experience.
I'm glad it went so well for you, Zion. I'm proud of you for speaking up and for doing what you did. We need more young people like you who will know what their rights are and actually speak up when they're taken advantage of. Anything else you'd like to share before I'd let you go?
Yes, sir. Freedom of speech is not optional. It is the foundation of our liberty. Christians need to stand up, speak out, and defend our right to share what we believe. Anything less is a violation of everything that America stands for. Together, I hope to keep fighting for faith, freedom, and the truth.
All right. Hey, it's great meeting you. I appreciate the fact that you found some time for us today. And tell your parents they're doing a good job. They're doing okay with you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care now. If you want to see America's religious heritage defended, whether it's in the classroom or the courtroom, would you consider supporting our work here at First Liberty Institute? Just look for the big red Give button up at the top of FirstLibertyLive.com. First Liberty, we're the religious freedom people.